If they changed their conclusion, I would be liable to follow their conclusion, because I think they judge by the evidence.
This matter of Bishop Richard Williamson is extremely serious. That's why I cut that one little clip out, because I want to go over this. I got the transcript off the internet. If they change their conclusion, I'll be likely to follow their conclusion, because I think they are judged by the evidence. Okay. Williamson has made some rather strong statements on a serious matter without reaching a moral certainty in the matter. He's relying on a few people, and according to one internet source, one report. And he's based everything on one report without doing the research. He's not morally certain. He says, I am as certain as they are. If they're right, then that's fine. But what if they're wrong? Is this how we achieve moral certainty? By going off of one report on a historical incident? A report that a lot of people are questioning? And then this points out a very serious problem. I must become morally certain before I act. It's a general principle. A doubtful conscience does not act. Williamson should not say one word about the Holocaust. Even if we leave off where he did it, in Germany, Zeitskofen, Germany. I believe that's where they still have a seminary there. He was rector of the seminary in Zeitskofen in the 70s. But he was in Germany giving the interview where his statements are against the law. Now, true, the Pope, cardinals, bishops especially, should be ready to sacrifice their life in martyrdom. But should we be ready to sacrifice our life on a historical opinion that is illegal? Is this even prudent to say anything? No, Williamson should not say one word on the Holocaust because he is not morally certain. He has not done the research. He hasn't checked that report from beginning to end against other sources. No, he just starts rattling off. Okay. If he'll do this in a small thing and then make a serious statement and place himself in harm's way, what will he do in other things? This is where the problem lies. People are making unfounded statements without doing the necessary research. Has Williamson been equally lax in matters concerning the divine and Catholic faith? He holds the insane conclusion that both John Paul II and Benedict XVI have a split personality. They're part Catholic and part modernist. Let's think about this one a minute. How can I be part Catholic and part modernist? Can I be part Catholic and part Lutheran? Part Catholic and part Muslim? Part Catholic and part Hindu? Or let's get a little more dramatic. Can a whore be a virgin? Think of this one out. No. I am either a Catholic or I'm not a Catholic. And if one is not a Catholic, one cannot become Pope. Pope Paul IV infallibly states this in the document, the Papal Bull, Cum ex Apostolatus Officio. And this is important. The Society of St. Pius X, in an article printed in the Angelus and published on their website, states, the Bull of Pope Paul IV, Cum ex Apostolatus Officio, is infallible. And then they go on to prove why they think that. That bull infallibly states, if a man is a heretic, that is, he has departed from the divine and Catholic faith, he cannot become Pope. So, here we have Williamson saying they are Catholic and modernist at the same time. We have a virgin whore here. Let's go on with some of other Williamson statements. He calls Vatican II a new religion. He's absolutely correct on that one. Ratzinger, Benedict XVI, and Wojtyła, John Paul II, before him, are part of this new religion. Remember, they were part of it before they became head of it. And yet he says they're Catholic popes. It'd be like saying Martin Luther became pope and head of the Catholic Church. No, he started the Lutheran Church. Ratzinger and Wojtyła are part of the Montinian Church. Father Sainz Arriaga wrote a book, The New Montinian Church. That identifies Montini, of course, being anti-Pope Paul VI, who gave us Vatican II, ratified the doctrines of the new church from Vatican II, instituted new sacraments, which are substantially different from the sacraments of the Catholic Church, as his own church officially declares. These new sacraments had to be invented to go with his new religion. Okay, that's why Father Sainz called it the New Montinian Church. Okay, if Vatican II is a new religion, and you could put it up, compare Vatican II with the Catholic Church, say, are substantially different. It is not the old religion, as Williamson calls it, and the old religion being, of course, the Catholic. His popes, John Paul II and Benedict XVI, are head of a new non-Catholic religion. And by accepting them as his popes, he joins their non-Catholic religion. For St. Cyprian says, to adhere to a false bishop of Rome is to be out of communion with the church. Think about it. The Pope is Bishop of Rome. To adhere to a false Bishop of Rome is to be out of communion with the church. Why? Because you're in communion with his new church. Simple. And let's get to the new rites. As I said a minute ago, these new rites are substantially different from the rites of the Catholic Church. In 1974, when some of the translators were trying to adjust the rites back to Catholicity, the Vatican, approved by John the Baptist Montini, anti-Pope Paul VI, stated, we have substantially changed the rites, and you must adhere to our substantial changes. In other words, don't be translating this back Catholic. So how can these new rites be objectively valid, as Williamson says? He says the new rite of ordination is objectively valid. Now, subjectively, meaning if the minister has the wrong intention or does not believe the Catholic faith, but uses the rite, it's invalid. That's another long story. But objectively, if Williamson used the new rite of ordination, he considers it would be valid. Let us move on. He considers the new rite of the Mass. He considers the new rite, the Novus Ordo Missae, is objectively valid. Now this is a simple no-brainer to me. In the new rite of the Mass, and we're going to say the new rite as celebrated by Joseph Ratzinger, anti-Pope Benedict XVI, he considers objectively valid. And that would have to include when Ratzinger celebrated in German, in Italian, in English, any other language he's done, where the words of Jesus Christ are translated as for all, or for all men. I have heard the German, I've heard the Italian, and I've heard the English. Seen it on television, there are probably clips on YouTube here. Ratzinger says for all men are the equivalent of whatever language he's in. Williamson considers that objectively valid. Jesus said pro multis, which means for many.